Brian, welcome.
Yeah, good to be here.
Yeah.
Friday, and we're going into a long weekend this weekend.
I got a really nice bottle of Cap Sav at home. So I'm so ready to wrap this up.
So you had the exam too. You had the CFA exam.
I had the CFA exam.
How was it?
It was good. It was it's a lot of work, a lot of studying, but it was really good. I missed a few trading days, but I made it all back on Thursday and today.
You had two straddles on Roblox and DraftKings.
DKNG and Roku.
Roku, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And I traded calls on I think it was Roblox and Roku as well. Yeah.
So the close is now my favorite time because I come on and Brian's on. And I'm like, Brian, what's the YOLO food? YOLO trade of the week.
Naked calls.
Yeah, exactly. Naked calls.
So I told him I want to do straddle on Roku, and he said he's just going to sell some calls. And it worked out great for... Yeah, and you got paid like $75 per contract for those Rokus.
Yeah.
It's easy, free money.
It's if you're selling calls and the stock drops and doesn't, it basically goes away from that strike price. You just keep the money you collected, and and I keep them short dated. So
it works out great.
Yeah.
Well, what a crazy week!
It was a crazy week.
So how did we close this week?
I don't know. Let's take a look at it actually. So trading terminal, by the way, congratulations on the launch.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We're still in a beta mode, but we finally launched it. So today was a massacre. We did make a quick run at the end, but then we sold off. Sectors for the week, let's take a look at them. Of course, stables, better. Energy down. Communication service. Facebook is bringing this whole sector down.
Yeah.
I got some YOLO Facebook calls, by the way, for this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think.
What's that? What's the trade?
I think it was 250 was the calls that I got. I don't remember actually exactly.
It went out. I think it went out around 207.
207, so 200. So I think it's 200 calls for next week, or 205 or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, I was looking at Facebook. I like that trade because the whole, the market was down, and Facebook has just been eliminated or annihilated in the last couple of weeks. But it held. It kind of held that, and in fact, Megan and I were talking about how Megan's strategies for trading, and she likes to use these multiple time frames, dailies and weeklies, to find key points of support and resistance, and she was saying this kind of area here is attractive for her for a long. So and
she's awesome, isn't
great.
she?
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she's a great trader.
Really, and it kind of highlights the strength of the community that we have, right? I mean, you can have people looking at things from a different perspective and come up with the same, basically the same theory or the same hypothesis about whether something's at support, and it just sort of validates if you're feeling the same way.
Yeah.
And just looking at the different strategies, that people use.
Okay. Yeah. That is the four indexes for the week.
Yeah.
Q's lost 4.6%, SPY 3%, Dow's. IWM surprisingly is down only 1.68%.
Yeah. And I think the previous week the IWM was actually
green,
the best. Yeah, it was actually green,
that was green.
Which was amazing. So it seems like the IWM seems to be the one that's hanging in there the best right now.
It seems like the 200 is a level for IWM that it doesn't want to lose it.
Yeah.
So Cathie Wood, she said that January 27 is the bottom, and it's not going to go lower than that. So the fact that IWM is holding even better than a SPY, I think it's just they're really getting into the good fundamental ratio, because I think the IWM average PE is right now 15.
Yeah.
So which is reasonable for those companies.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, we were looking at some of we don't like to use the F word, but, we were looking at some of them, and we were doing the swing trader. I think it was in one of the closes, we were looking at some of the fundamentals, and the price to earnings, and, there were some stocks out there that were still, really expensive, but, it was getting easier to find stocks that are more fairly valued from a, price to earnings basis, like Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook is really attractive.
Yeah.
I sold a put spread on Facebook, but bullish put spread. So sold a 200 put and just bought some put for for protection.
Underneath it, yeah.
I don't think we're gonna break 200. Hopefully, as long as nothing crazy happens, because we know with Russia and Ukraine and.
Oh my God! What is happening with this Russia and
Yeah.
Are they gonna invade or not? And if they do, just do it. What's this mental game?
I got a really funny video I have to show you guys. Let me bring this up.
Putin-Ukraine strategy.
Yeah.
That's for a Family Guy, huh?
Yeah, what this is like 1 minute. I think it's hilarious. This is what Putin is doing to the market. Market sells off 1%. Oh, we're okay. Market sells off another 2%. Oh, no, we're okay. Another 5% down. We're okay. Yeah, it's swinging.
At the end, the Stewie, the dog says, "Well, he's just putting us in."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I mean. He's KGB. He's a KGB guy, and he's playing mind games. And I think he, you know, I don't know if he will go ahead. I mean, he's proven he will. He has before, right, with Crimea.
Yeah.
But you know, if he kind of gets what he wants, he might back down. So it's, you know, or if he gets even some of what he wants, possibly he might back down.
So what he wants is that the Ukraine doesn't join NATO, and even if it does, they shouldn't do anything about the Crimea.
Right.
That should not be, because that area apparently is very ethnically mixed. It's like
Right.
Yugoslavia and all of those civil war and people kill each other. Apparently in Crimea and eastern Ukraine, there's a lot of Russian ethnicity.
Yeah.
And they want to be part of Russia, but
Yeah.
they're not. So that's what he says that they're ethnicity cleansing in that area. So he wants to protect their citizens. But it's also a businessman, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, there's strategic advantages to, you know, just the land, right? I mean, there's access to the ports and that kind of stuff that the Ukraine gives Russia access to that they don't have now. So, you know, it's a strategic play too, for sure.
But Russia has access to Black Sea even without Crimea.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Yeah.
Ukraine, without Crimea, also has still access to Black Sea. So I wonder how much is the strategy point or this really ethnicity problem that they have. But regardless, Russia's stock market is selling off. Europe is in a turmoil.
Yes.
I don't think anyone is happy from that situation, especially the Russian oligarchs that has all of the money and they, you know, all this prom gas and stuff.
I got a question. Because you said Putin is a businessman, you think it's possible that they have puts on the market to trade the market?
You know, they say that the Chinese has done that for a long time. You know, all of these news that come, they've banned Bitcoin like 100 times so far, officially. And you know, these volatility, are they going to make money? If someone knows something and buys some puts and make money, who's going to track what happens?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, some people with this kind of power, they benefit from the capital market. Like if you ask Norm has a rule that you don't put your money in foreign companies, like Baba or you know, anything that you don't have control over. You don't even have control over accountings of Baba.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that they pull out that all of his accountings are fake, and you know, the stock pump. These are U.S. investors. You know?
Yeah. I mean, they're not held to the same accounting standards. I know they're trying to move that way, aren't they, Artie? I mean, you're the CFA.
I think they follow.
Do they follow
They
GAAP?
follow the GAAP is for U.S. ones, so they follow IFRS.
Okay.
But their audits, who knows if it's audited? I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah, a lot of it's questionable.
Yeah, a lot of questions. But really crazy week for the market.
So what's the month year to date so far on the sectors?
I think sectors or the indices. Let's check the indices. So I think they're all
down 15%, IWM 12%, SPY 10%, and Dow 6%. So in 2020 and 2021, they said the stocks only go up. Apparently in 2022, the stocks only go down.
Stocks only go down.
Yeah.
2 months into the year, and it's just a massacre.
Yeah.
And a lot of these companies, like the earnings have been really good. Like NVIDIA had a blockbuster earnings.
Yep.
Growth of like 60-75% in their data centers, this and that, and then the stock sold off.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was even selling off today.
Today, yeah.
Yeah, like
they're really
yeah,
weak.
Yeah.
Is it correlated? I think it seems that it's correlated with crypto as well. So the crypto is really selling off.
Could be a little bit, but I think just generally speaking, the semiconductors were all getting hit.
Getting hit, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's. It's obviously related to the whole semiconductor space.
Yeah.
Which is funny because, the semiconductors, the latest I've heard is that there's still going to be a shortage right through this year. There isn't, they were saying, oh, maybe it'll alleviate sort of later in 2022, but now they're, I think it was MU said, the company spokesman said they didn't see an end to the shortage this year at all. So
they say this shortage and inflation is the cost for a quick recovery from pandemic.
Yeah.
When we did such a huge bounce in the recovery of the pandemic, and this is part of the price that we have to pay.
Yeah, Andrew, maybe you should switch to SOXL. It's at a really good price right now.
SOXL is a semiconductors ETF,
3-time levered. Let me go to ETF page here.
Yeah, there's SOXL.
It's at like $30. I just checked.
Can you zoom out a little bit, Ardi? Control that?
Yeah, just or just do the.
There we go.
Yeah, it's down into an area of significant sort of congestion and support. So I mean, looks like it might be double bottoming.
Yeah.
So the biggest holding for SOXL is Broadcom, NVIDIA, Micron, Taiwan Semiconductor, or Applied Material.
Yeah.
So
I mean, back to the sort of fundamental side of things. I mean, NVIDIA is still relatively expensive, I believe, on a price to earnings. So, even though maybe they look like a bargain here, they're still fairly expensive.
Yeah. This is crazy. And then let me see, how did the sectors for the week? This tool, by the way, is awesome. Staples.
Yeah.
Was the only one.
This is tradingterminal.com. This is a beta version that we built. Still is beta, far from being even a prototype. But hopefully over time, we just make it better and better and better. I hope that in the next couple of months, we're going to have a much, much better charting and scanners and login and everything, and
we're
some
also
proprietary
using proprietary
indicators. All the market internals, the Jared talks or options, indicators, they're all going to be in there. So, but you just got to be patient with us and your support and your suggestions. I get a lot of emails that people say, I found this bug. Brian wants to switch his swing recaps into that. It still needs a lot of information that Brian needs, but he doesn't have that. But hopefully, I hope by the next 6 months, folks on the back end, they're going to fix it for us.
Yeah, they're putting overtime.
Yeah, I'm starting to incorporate some of the screenshots from now into my swing trade videos. So yeah, it's going to be a great tool when we get some stuff more refined, definitely. But it already is giving you a lot of information.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Earnings. Let's go to our calendar. So this week,
a lot of retail next week. We're probably about 70% through the earnings season right now, and next week is the big retail week. So we've got Home Depot, we've got Lowe's, TJX, we've got a few banks there too.
We had some, any trickier names? Any
Coinbase is there.
Oh yeah, Coin's there.
Coinbase could be interesting.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm looking like shady software companies that I could do straddles.
Coinbase might be, because especially with the situation with the crypto market, I wonder how the coin would be. They're trading under 200 now.
Same with Square.
Block,
Block or Square could be interesting too. And then
Moderna is there too.
Oh yeah, Moderna would be really interesting too.
Interesting too.
Yeah, Moderna is there too. This week, did you see Shopify?
Wow, yeah. Oh man,
what happened to Shopify? Can you bring it up, the chart for Shopify?
Yeah.
Man, it got annihilated.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, I think we were talking about that in the trading room. I think it was like at the start of the year, it was trading at like $1,400 or something.
$1,500, yeah.
And look at that chart. Oh my goodness.
Can you go to full chart, Ardi? Because that's another capability that we have.
Oh,
we can actually go
there
to full charting, and we're gonna actually make this chart even better.
There we go.
Wow.
Yeah.
So back to almost pre-pandemic.
Zoom out a little bit, yeah.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, this was the biggest large cap in Canada, right? Even more than RBC, Royal Bank.
It's a Canadian company?
It's a Canadian company.
Yeah, it's a Canadian company.
Yeah, number one in terms of market cap. I don't know if it still is. RBC,
Probably not.
RBC might have took over. So, here's a funny story is at my previous job, the fund that I was working at, our portfolio manager didn't have Shopify. And this was exactly his reason. He's like, I have to report quarter on quarter. This is too volatile for me. I don't care. Because now think about it, if he had it, yeah, sure, few quarters in 2022, 2020 and 2021, he was doing amazing, but this is gonna mess up all his next quarters.
Oh yeah.
This drawdown. So
yeah, because it's around 665 now, isn't it?
Yeah.
In that range.
Yeah.
But at the beginning of the year, I looked at it, December 31st, I think it went out around 1400 or something.
Yeah.
Just destroyed. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the? I think Twitter is now trading below its IPO price.
Yeah.
It's amazing that some of these. Yeah,
Wow.
go to Twitter chart. I think it's trading now below. I think you have to enter the ticker.
Yeah, what's the ticker?
The TWTR, I think.
I believe
Yes,
so. There you
TWTR.
go.
Yeah. Try to load in as much as possible. It's actually a good test to see how the platform works, and go to 5 year. I think it IPO'd in 2013 or something. Go to 5 years.
Yeah, that's pretty close, eh?
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah, still a little bit of room there.
Yeah, still.
Yeah. Wow. What and this.
No, go back a little bit. Zoom out. Maybe I'm wrong, but or maybe it doesn't have.
No, that could be it.
Yeah, it is. So what's the
that's
IPO
the
price?
start.
2014, right here, around here.
Yeah, so it popped up and
Around 40. So it trades below the IPO right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It trades below the IPO price.
It is
Yeah.
trading below the IPO.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been quite a roller coaster.
What? So 8 years, no dividends.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's one of the problems with this technology. Like Shopify was hot, but it could easily be obsolete. And we had so many of these coming. Like PayPal is losing revenue,
God,
customers,
PayPal.
and
Yeah.
that's easy. Or social media, like Facebook as a social media, significantly people are not getting out of it.
Engaged.
I don't even check Facebook anymore. That's just amazing.
No,
That's
yeah.
it's kind of scary too.
Well, markets are always changing, like we say, and you just, if you're going to be an active trader, you really need to see the shifts that are happening, and where people are moving money, basically, and clearly some of the challenges that, Facebook is making a big shift in their business model, right? We're betting on Meta,
Yeah.
the metaverse, so.
Yeah.
Well, Exxon and GE were the biggest, largest caps in 2002, I think.
Yeah.
Look how world has changed. Energy is now only 5% of S&P. It used to be like almost half of S&P.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, because it's market cap weighted, right? So it's energy shrinking. Yeah, it's crazy.
So what do you think about the volatility of the market? Is the equities gonna close negative for the year? It seems that it didn't start really well.
Everybody you listen to, the talking heads and stuff on TV, they seem to feel that, the back half of this year is going to be better. So, if Russia, worst case scenario, if Russia does invade the Ukraine, a lot of these world events tend to get, they're news, and then, people, I don't say forget it, but unfortunately, kind of people move on. And, when the market comes back, there was the case of, like, for example, Kennedy assassination, the market dropped. A week later, it was back where it started. Crimea, same thing, market dropped and then came right back a month or so later. So, the markets react, there's emotion, and then once that emotion subsides, everybody gets back to looking at, the fundamentals, and so I think that, hopefully later in the year will be better. We'll get some, a lot of people, I guess a good point of conversation is, what is driving the market? Is it Russia? Is it interest rates? I think it's both. and they're kind of tied because, you know, an invasion with Russia is going to be, or by Russia is going to have an impact on inflation in Europe. You know, things are going to get more expensive, you know, for a number of reasons. And so inflation's still going to be on the agenda regardless of what happens in the Ukraine. So, and until we kind of get more clarity on the Fed, everybody's, you know, sort of gnashing about, is it March, is it going to be half a point, is it going to be a quarter point, and, you know, that kind of stuff. So
it seems that people are going to wait until the March, so we might have some volatility maybe to the downside to the March. And then as soon as they know what's the position of the Fed, probably the, you know.
I think, you know, it's the Russia thing is, you know, it's unfortunate the way it's playing out, but yeah, March will give some clarity because I think people are still hedging a little bit, that they may go, you know, it's not just the increase, it's the rate of increase. So people are still a little bit concerned. They might go half a point, although, you know, a lot of the Fed heads don't want to go a half point. They're talking about a quarter and then kind of seeing, but, you know, gradual increase. So
I think quarter is better. I mean, everyone want to know what their margin rate's going to be. Everyone's on leverage, right? So
yeah.
Everybody want to know how much.
That is absolutely crazy that 1% or 0.5% makes such trillions of dollars of, you know, capitalization just go away. That means that.
Well, they're saying their target rate is like 2.5%.
Yeah.
It's like,
nothing.
I don't. Yeah, it's still very low.
In 2001, when the market was, you know, the dot-com bubble was 7%.
7%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I remember. You know, I'm going to date myself here, but you know, I remember it was in 1980s. Interest rates went to 25. They were at 25%.
Wow.
You know, it spiked up because you know, inflation and. But it didn't last long there. But, you know, when you compare where we are now, that's, you know, you can imagine the world would be ending if interest rates are at 10% in that scenario.
Bank of Canada didn't raise. I think their meeting was like a few weeks ago. They kept it. We're not at zero though. We're at, I think, quarter basis or 50 basis point. But
I kind of think they're just hanging back and they're waiting for the Fed to move, and when the Fed moves, they'll move too. That's what I think.
But here's another thing: a lot of people who have mortgages, and you know, high interest rates can affect the mortgages for U.S. people, and then they slow down. It's a trap. It's that's.
As long as interest rates. I mean, if they're targeting 2.5, that's, you know, that's really not that much. Now, if you're living really close to the line, maybe it's a lot, but, you know.
You're already seeing that, Andrew, the mortgages, like you look at 1 month, look at real estate is the worst performing one, right?
That's a good point, yeah. So people are already getting out of the real estate,
Yeah, so like, because rates go up, the cap rate comes down, right? So everyone's going to go out of these REITs. This is, because communication service, you gotta ignore it because it's all because of Facebook is bringing the whole thing down, but yeah.
Very nice. And you raise a good point too. I mean, when you're looking at these groups and sectors, you've got to be sort of cognizant of what's in them, because you can have a group like, you know, like communication services, and if you realize that Facebook's a big part of it, if you don't know that, then you're missing a big component of the information that's in each of those groups or sectors.
That's why we do this, right?
Exactly.
Bring the knowledge to the community.
And that's the amazing part.
I think isn't what else is in communication services? I think Google is
in there. It's XLC, right? The spider one is XLC. I think Google is in there. Facebook's in there. You know, these sell-off, it hasn't been the same for everyone. I mean, of course, if you're levered like TNA, it's been tougher, but it's been specifically tough for Cathie Woods. She was just on CNBC, I think, for a whole hour. A lot of crazy, funny things happened. One of the things that really took off in Twitter was there was a pop-up that your Zoom is expiring in 20 minutes. And everyone said Cathie Wood had, let me see if I can find it. I think we had it over here. Let's see. Everyone said Cathie Wood has one of her largest holding is Zoom, and she doesn't right here. She doesn't even pay for Zoom. And her team actually took to Twitter and said it was CNBC Zoom and not our own Zoom account.
And they made a joke that they said our time frame is 5 years, but CNBC might be 1 hour, and that's why they ran out of it.
I
actually thought that this must be a joke or a Photoshop or something.
Yeah.
But apparently that was real. So.
Yeah, it was real. Yeah. So there's this video. I think this was interesting too. So, you know, when you're down, people really press you. They ask how, you know, they're shorting. You know, there's an ETF called SARK, which is shorting ARK.
Short
exactly.
ARK. Yeah.
So this is an interesting interaction.
And to set up funds to short innovation. You know that investor psychology, the pendulum, has swung so far in one direction that if we're right, then the rewards are going to be enormous.
I don't know how else to say it. They're not shorting innovation, they're shorting you.
Yeah.
Give me the remote. Increase the volume a little bit.
Yeah,
So they said they're not shorting innovation, they're shorting your picks.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and I know there was a few of I listened to this. I thought it was quite interesting. I mean, she did make a pretty compelling. She made as best an argument, I guess, as anyone could in that situation. You know, she said this wasn't a short-term flip trade. This was, you know, we're in it for the long term, 5 years, but you know, one of the wasn't the commentator there, but it was one of the other people asked her, you know, how some of the stuff that she has in her ARK fund is like, you know, like DraftKings. You know, there's really nothing innovative about DraftKings. Exactly. It's a bookie.
It's an online bookie.
Yeah, and you know, and I think she has Hood in there too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you know, if they're a broker, you know, mind you, they've done some
shady stuff.
They've done some, well, maybe, and then you know, and you can say they've been a little innovative. They've been able to attract a
disruptive technology. That's what they say. So they are. Well, Robinhood is disruptive to some extent in a very traditional, you know, brokerage system.
But there's nothing strategic. There's no strategic advantage, competitive advantage. That's when you have something that you can say, this is what my competitors don't have. But you know, all the brokers, you know, they're offering, you know, free commissions, and a lot of the brokers just offered the same thing. So it was, you know, where's their competitive advantage that they can sustain?
No,
it's not.
And they also heard the branding as well.
Yeah.
So after the GameStop Short Squeeze, which was my favorite event of 2021,
yeah,
they actually hit the branding because the people don't trust this broker anymore.
Yeah.
And branding is so important. It's like social media, you know, and you know, nobody wants to go to Tinder or Facebook. When the brand is destroyed, no matter what you do, it's hard to get the brand. Is she in Zoom too? Does she have Zoom as well?
I think she did. Yeah, Zoom and Teledoc was another one.
So did you know that Google Hangout has this teleconferencing and it's for free and it's awesome? I didn't know that.
It's amazing.
We recently started using Google Hangout for the company and it's awesome. You know, it's just such an easy add, remove, no limitation, free for everybody.
Right.
So these are all her holdings. So Tesla, Roku, Teledoc, Zoom. So Zoom is actually fourth in terms of weighting.
So 8%, 6% Roku. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Roku, yeah. Zoom, Coinbase. This is her flagship.
You know, it was funny because her interview was on, I think it was on Thursday at noon.
Yeah.
And Roku reported at the end of, I think it was either Thursday night. I think it was Thursday night.
Yeah.
And it just tanked.
It leaked the whole after hours.
Yeah.
And it opened at this morning when I saw it's like 105.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Ed, one of our traders, he shorted it after hours. I looked at it when it was at 135.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh boy, is it going to drop lower? And then I woken up the next morning. This morning it was like trading at 105, 106. And I thought, wow. So anyway, Ed had a good trade on that one.
Wow.
It is,
But you know, when Dr. Michael Berry shorted the housing market, the big short, he started early and he was really getting squeezed until, you know, the collapse happened. And in one of the scenes, he said, you know, believe me, I might be early, but I'm not wrong. And they said, you know, it's the same thing, you know, it could be. But we have to wait to see how these technologies are doing. And, you know, Tesla or Roku or Square, Block, if they reinvent themselves in the next couple of years, and then, you can get that in the 5 years, you can get that crazy.
Well, that was her argument. She was, you know, we've got all these great minds that are doing all this research on these companies and they're looking ahead to the future, and then you've got Tuttle that have this, they're just randomly betting against everything without any research or anything like that. So she's saying in the end she'll be right, and she's convinced. So
one thing I do have to give her credit though, not to spend too much time on it, is she's stayed authentic throughout the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Like her story is the same. She does weekly videos explaining her reasoning.
Yeah.
Shares it with her client. On the other hand, I don't know if you heard this news. This came out today. Chamath, he stepped down as the chairman of
Space.
Space. Yeah.
Space now, after 3 years, below its SPAC price. It's $8. $8.
$8.50.
$8.50. Wow, what a steal!
Yeah.
Chamath had a really good year in 2021.
Yeah.
But after in the mid 2021, he started really losing his credibility because most of his SPACs didn't do anything.
Yeah, terrible. All of them are down like 80%, 75%, 80%. That's
definitely not a fun time. Space,
look at it.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
But I have a question. If money flows to ARK, that means that ARK has more capital to work with, or how does that work?
Well,
I know everybody wants to buy ARK, back into 2021. So that means that she had to get more cash, and then she invests, or how does it work?
Yeah, I mean, it's just an investment fund. So when people put money into ARK, she's obligated to invest it in some form or another. And so, she's, either increasing her position sizes in the ones she's got, or maybe she's looking at other positions to add to her portfolio. But that's, that gets back to another issue with Cathie Wood. And what you said is she's very transparent, whereas a lot of these people are not. So she's sticking with her guns, and you've got to give her credit for that.
Yeah. So as a portfolio manager of an ETF, she sets the weighting, and then it's the exchange that does the trades for her. So she, throughout the day, she would say, I want to reduce my share size on this, and this, give a new weighting, and then they would execute the trade.
But how fast it will reflect into the portfolio? Like imagine I want to take $1 billion into ARK. How fast this $1 billion would be distributed into the market?
I'm not sure. I
like to see how the price action works in there. Like when imagine a big fund start buying ARK shares, so this money goes into who? To ARK, and then ARK has to redistribute that, or?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it goes to the exchange does the distribution, or I know with mutual fund it actually goes into the mutual fund and then they distribute it. But I'm not sure.
But exchange traded funds, I know QQQ, for example, should impact immediately. I think they redistribute the fund immediately to the, like if you buy, for example, a huge amount of QQQ, 5% of that capital would reflect in Apple, because they have to
buy that. Yeah.
And it might be the same for.
Yeah, it's good to know how the exchange traded funds work.
Yeah, but the exchange traded funds are still run by fund managers, and so I'm sure they have like bylaws and regulations. And you can read their perspectives on how they distribute funds and the rules that they follow, like they can't have more than 5% cash or something like that. Every fund has has sort of like a parameters that they have to follow. So,
because there was that video where Jim Cramer said, Madam Cathie Wood, close your fund. Like you can't handle all this money that is coming, close your fund. And then Cathie Wood came and said, obviously you have no idea how the ETF works. I'm not dealing with the money. All I do is set these allocations.
Oh, that's
so
a good point.
what you're saying, Jim Cramer, is for mutual funds. So I don't know. This would be interesting to research. I'm not sure.
Good. Yeah. So that's the difference between mutual funds and ETFs, because they're exchange traded. Those ones are directly managed by the funds.
Yeah. On some good news, Andrew, kind of switching away from market, I think we should talk about this.
Oh yeah,
replay?
We didn't discuss about that, no?
No, we haven't.
Well, Stock Trading Simulator is a replay tool that we built, free for everybody, and so we didn't have a landing page, but now we have the landing page. So feel free to guys go and sign up and log in. You're automatically in our system, free, no credit card needed, and after you did that, we send you daily
stock
homeworks and stock selection and everything. So just go create an account. You can use your Gmail or you can use your Twitter. And then, the good thing about it right now is that now you can actually save your settings. all the indicators, all the color, everything that you adjust, you can actually save that. And as we go, we add more indicators and capability into that. So yeah, and then you have this login page area that, we're excited for that.
I like the dark mode.
The support that you can give to us is just share and, give it a shout out into your social media so more people come and use that. So thanks a lot. That cost us a lot of time and energy, but I think it's an amazing tool.
Yeah, and it's important for anybody who seriously wants to trade. I mean, you can't just start trading. You've got to get in and practice, and this is a type of tool that you can use to practice. It's just it's excellent.
Yeah, just the beginning.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for all of the support. And tradingterminal.com, again, that's another tool that, again, it's in a beta version. It's not even yet ready, but we launched it officially, but there's so many things that we need to change still in there.
Yeah, really.
So next week?
Next week, so Monday is President's Day in US, Family Day in Canada, and probably some other places are open. I'm personally going to travel next week. So I trade on Tuesday and I'll be gone. I'm going to go to South America again for a trail running race and climbing. But I try to trade as much as possible. The time should work.
Good. Yeah. Well, so what do you think? I think it's I basically reduced all my positions because I really didn't want to hold anything over the weekend, just with the 3 days, and just I can see if there's a big catastrophe in the Ukraine over the weekend, I could see the markets opening down significantly, and I'll probably, if that does happen, I'll be building a wish list on the weekend of stocks that I'm wanting to start look at seriously buying when that happens, because like they say, never waste a good crisis.
Exactly.
So
you have to have cash.
So I'm in a lot of cash right now, and I'm just sitting and waiting, just because there's just so much sort of directionless volatility right now.
What's really pissing me off is when market sells off, and I wonder how much like a conflict in Eastern Europe would impact iPhone sales. Like, why is Apple selling off?
Yeah,
it's a great opportunity to grab these value great stocks at a good.
And the conflict doesn't last forever. There might be a few days. I mean, they say Russia can take the whole Ukraine for 3 days. So, you can have that. But I doubt that anything is going to happen. But if it does, definitely there are some European countries going to go into recession, that's for sure. Oh, yeah. Supply chain issues, the energy probably goes significantly higher. And the impact on all of the sanctions that are going to come on Russia would be definitely important. But
no one wins.
No one wins. And that's what Putin says that as well. I mean, I was watching his talk with Macron, the president of France, and he said that I don't want that, you don't want that, nobody wins, and he actually threatens the nuclear war. So say, I know that NATO is more powerful than us, but we are a nuclear state, and if you start, nobody wins. He said that clearly.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully not.
It'll be interesting. Yeah. Speaking of Megan, she was supposed to come today. Unfortunately, she couldn't, but next week we're going to have her. And then I was thinking about adding a new segment with our traders, because some of them are doing so good. We could actually have one-on-one with them. Share their success story. Sure. It would be awesome.
That would be awesome, no, definitely. We want to expand that. And again, the people in the community in YouTube, you tell us what you want, and we create it for you. We really need some strategy help and, thinking ideas. We love that too.
Yeah, it'll be awesome.
Good.
All right, thank you so much, guys, and have a good long weekend, everybody, and see you on Tuesday morning in the chat if you're still alive and nuclear war hasn't happened.
Everybody, enjoy your long weekend.
Yeah, that cap stop is waiting for me at home. I gotta go drink it.
All right,
Have a good one,
thank you.
See you guys.
Bye.
Awesome.